And we go. This is all actions and all results. We are the Business Accountability Group, down to two this week as our fitness fanatic has gone on vacation with his family. So a big hi to Rudy out there, who we're going to force to watch this video over the next week so he can keep us accountable with our business goals and targets. As usual, we begin with an elevator statement which defines our work and our business. Johnny, you're up.
All right, my name is Johnny Costa. I'm the founder and investment manager of Influx Capital Management, and we are a champion for the small guy. We bring investment outperformance to the small investor. That's what we do.
Super cool. And my name's Graham. I am the founder and director of Native Speakers Academy. We are a small private holistic language school based in Banska Bystrica in central Slovakia. We teach the English language and we offer life coaching. That's what we do. And so these are our business perspectives. Now, we also usually work with Rudy, and he's not here today, so it's just me and you who are going to hold down the fort with everything cool that we've been working on for the
Yep.
last few weeks. Um, but before we get into any aha moments, I thought we'd just talk about two things that have come up recently. The first thing is that we had a little short discussion last week about my website. If you remember, before the internet went
Yeah.
down,
Right.
we
Right.
we,
Right.
we were looking at my website, which is nsa-slovakia.com, and I mentioned that I built the website with Google Sites, which is Google's own built-in program for building websites. And you said something to me that a lot of people have said, which is that you didn't know that that even existed as a
Hmm.
possibility.
Hmm.
And I'm surprised, constantly surprised by the number of people who have never even come across this piece of technology. And I've never even seen Google promote it. You've never seen, I don't think I know anybody who's seen Google promote, hey, you can build websites on our own platform, on our own server,
Right.
and it doesn't cost you anything, and you can link in advertisements if you want, and you don't really need any background programming experience or any work with coding, because it's basically a drag and drop experimentation kind of website. And once you've built it, which I told you it only took me about 4 hours to build the basic framework of it, and then I moved around a few things after that, and then naturally when I worked out how things work. But once you've got that done, you want to make any little changes, it just takes you 5 minutes. Go into the program, change a heading, change a title, add an article to a certain page, and you don't need to rely on other people to do the updates for you. You're not paying somebody for something where you don't know exactly what the result is going to be,
Yeah.
and it leaves the owner and builder of the web page, me, totally in control of what happens with it, which is something that I really like. And it's interesting because I've seen so many uh, people charging so much money to build a website, and and I think it's crazy that you can actually go in if you have the time and build one yourself for free. It also relates to what I saw recently with cover designs for books, and we'll get into the book and things later on in the meeting. But Um, I recommended to you Fiverr before as a service for maybe designing logos or covers and things. So I used Fiverr to design my book cover, and when I was registering with
Mm.
Amazon, Amazon offered me a special offer of only $355 for a cover design for my book.
And you did it for $5.
Yeah, I
Wow.
yeah, I know. If you shop around, if you search around, you don't need to pay big bucks to
Mm.
get big results. There are lots of options available. So I don't know if you want to give me some feedback on what I said there.
No, I think that's amazing. The only feedback I have, and it brings me back kind of to investing in the economy, is that back in the day, and there's so much free stuff. Like for example, Pokemon Go doesn't cost a cent. The only thing you need is a smartphone, and you need data. There's so much free stuff these days, and I think that might have somewhat of an effect on the economy. Because before, like say before the internet, if I want, well, I guess you can't do a website without the internet, but before
You talk about like
before
an advertisement or something like that, yeah? Because what a website is basically an advertisement for your business.
okay, right, but what I was more getting at was that say before anything, if I needed a website, I'd have to call up some local guy. Before there was the services like this, I'd call up a local guy. He would charge you $1,000 to make the site and whatnot. And then now, like you're doing yours for free. I did my website for $100, did it myself, and so I think that might have something to do with the economy as well. Why it may not, why it just here anyways, why it may be somewhat sputtering is that and that things don't really cost anything anymore.
Yeah, a lot of things don't. I mean, I remember when I opened up the school and started the school to make an advertisement, I had to go to the local newspaper and sit down with them and talk about advertising space and how big I want the advert, and then
Right.
design the advert and my logo and everything in it. And that took it took an afternoon. It took
Yep.
a whole
Yep.
afternoon to go and get that done, and I had to go there. Now
Right.
you don't have to go anywhere to
Yeah.
do these things. You can do it from home. Like the business of banking in the past was a pain in the ass.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, from bank to bank, picking up information, uh, comparing prices and interest rates and services and all, looking through
Yeah. Exactly.
contracts and all the details and everything like that. And now you can get a lot of the information, not everything, but a lot of it you can get from home. So, in that sense, I think we made things more complex and then we simplified them for
Yeah.
ourselves.
Exactly. But I think that too. What you've done is you said, okay, I have this problem. I'm going to research it and find a better solution. What you have, which is fibers, really good. I've had mixed results, but I had a great logo at a great price, and and then your Google Sites is amazing,
Yeah, I've had
and
mixed results with
and
fiber as well.
and
Sorry,
and
continue.
that's from. Oh, you have? Oh, I was just saying, and that just comes of of almost not that you're a disruptor, but you're saying, okay, here's what's conventional. Let me let me look for what's non-conventional.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it's there's no reason in the modern world for anything not to work. That's my bottom line. There's no reason
Yeah,
in the
right.
modern world with all of the links that we have to all of the information that we have and all of the people that we have. The what once was the 6 degrees of separation. I don't know if you know that principle. That everyone is connected to everyone else through six other people.
Yes. Yes.
It doesn't matter where you go on the planet, you can get to anyone anywhere through six other people. And this was discovered by an American university professor in the 1960s. And that was the 1960s. You could do that. The 1960s was 6 degrees of separation. Now, the same way you can imagine the 1860s was probably 160 degrees of separation, right? The 1960s was 6 degrees of separation. And you see what I'm getting at, right? We're pretty much all absolutely interconnected by only 1 or 2 degrees of separation now.
Hmm.
So there's no reason for anything not to work. There's no reason for anything not to function. There's no reason for anyone not to have whatever it is that they want That's why when people say to me, I don't know, or I'm not sure, um, or they ask me a question, I'm like, do I look like Google, right? I don't have all the answers, but I know where they are. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so it's not that hard if people really want uh, information about something. They might not get exactly what they want, but at least they'll be heading in the right direction. And that's what we have now. And opportunities, directions, contacts, connections. Um, and for people who know how it all works, you know, they have great advantages to to the victor in the information war. All the spoils,
Hmm.
I believe. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention the Google Sites for anyone that is looking to build a website very simply. Now it is getting dated, and they haven't updated the information
Mm.
in a while, but it's there as an opportunity, and if people want to experiment, they can experiment. And one of the things that I said I liked about it was that they got the little search box at the top, which I think is missing in a lot of websites. Because that's the first one of the first things I want to find when I go to a website is a search box. Because I'm looking for some specific information.
Okay.
Either it's a contact or a name or an article, and if it's not on the front page, I don't want to be clicking through different pages of the maze of the internet
Yeah.
trying to find out where something is. I just type in the word or the words into the search box and it'll bring up everything on that website that has those terms in it. You know, whether it's somebody who wrote an article, I can write the name of that person or so on. So um, uh, I think that the search box is always key on on websites, and a lot of people forget about it. And even big companies forget about it. They seem to think a search box is not important. But I think it's just a key little thing there. Okay, so that was the website. Good to hear that you built your website yourself as well, right?
I did. Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You were there in the process.
Okay, so which platform is that on?
It's a company called Wix, Wix,
Okay,
and it's basically it was $100 a year. I think for the first year, it's probably going to go up to $200 a year, but it was pretty. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it.
okay,
It was either
okay,
Wix or WordPress, and I went with Wix because Wix had a special. So
okay. And
the only
you're
thing is though is that if the price does go up in year two, it's like okay, well, what am I going to do? Build a whole new site on with someone else or just stay with them? So
well, you
yeah,
contact them and tell them that you're not going to pay anymore.
yeah,
Negotiation.
that works. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like, look, if you put the price up, I have to leave.
Yeah,
Sorry,
right.
sorry.
Yeah.
So why don't you just keep both of
Oh,
us
yeah, I can
happy
do
and
that.
why don't you just keep both of us happy and look, I'll pay the same price. I'm really happy to pay this. I don't want to go anywhere else,
Yeah,
but I'll be forced to go somewhere else if
yeah,
if you don't give a benefit to your old customer.
right.
You know, the people with you who are with you for longer are supposed to have more benefits, not less benefits.
Yeah,
It's not draw
consistency.
me in for a year and then screw me over, right?
Yeah, right, right, exactly.
I mean, what kind of customer turnover are you going to have if you do that? I mean, it's ridiculous. So, if you can get in touch with the, if you can speak to real people, you can find real solutions.
Yeah, right.
If it's just a system, it's much more complex. I think like that, which is where sites like Fiverr, you have to find the people working on there who are people, because there's businesses working on there as well, right? So you know if you're buying your service through a business and it's a bigger business, you can get lost in the mix. But if it's a person providing the service, then you generally know who you're dealing with. You don't get to see them face to face, but you know they're a real person at the end of the day, which
No, I know what you mean. Like there's a guy that has a sweatshop that has 20 people, and then he's passing the jobs to them. Yeah, that's I think that's what I experienced when I tried to hire a virtual assistant.
yeah, you need to talk directly to the person. right?
Yeah, no, right, but the reviews weren't aren't very clear on there either. But you know,
Yeah,
like I said, my business cards were amazing. Or no, my logo was amazing.
yeah, yeah. It is.
Uh,
It is amazing. It is very cool. Yeah, but you can make terms and conditions like, hey, no subcontracting or something like that.
uh,
Yeah, it's like I want to work with someone, but I don't want someone to be subcontracting me to somebody else.
yeah, but how would you? Sorry.
Yeah.
How would you know on Fiverr?
uh, Chit chat, I guess. Um, Look at the reviews. I don't know. Ask for a reference. You give them a give them a question directly, saying I want this service from you, but before I order it, I need to know the answer to this question. Are you subcontracting or are you doing it directly?
Mm.
Because I've had negative experiences before,
Oh, right,
so
right, yeah.
well, you could ask them that, but then you get into the things take longer to solve, and people usually want things done more quickly. And so I'll tell you what happened with the last thing I ordered through them. I didn't get a confirmation email, so I was like waiting 3 or 4 days, thinking, where is it? 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 Because usually you get a confirmation email in your inbox. I didn't get any. And then I logged on to Fiverr and it said, we've been waiting for you for 3 days to answer this mail. So, oh,
Oh,
should have logged on to the site sooner. So I guess there can be slip ups here and there
yes.
and little problems. Um, Great. Right, moving on. The other thing, which might or might not be business related, but I thought it was interesting, was the cat.
The kitty.
The cat, yeah. So I wondered if you could just talk about your experience with the advertising for searching for the cat, because I thought that was an interesting from a business perspective in terms of getting of looking for a solution to a problem.
Yeah,
So
right. So, I'll kind of, and feel free to interrupt it and guide me somewhere else. I'll try to make this short. Is essentially so. Basically, I just said to myself, I'm gonna do everything possible to fi- find this cat. So I basically,
mhm.
I got resourceful first. I said, okay. I looked online. I said, where do people go to look for cats? I found
Okay,
lost and found groups on Facebook.
okay,
I found that the animal shelters. There's a cat network here, and I really had to understand how all of them work because they all kind of work different.
okay,
Then, and so the first thing I did was everything I could do in front of a computer. I did that first. Everything online, postings, Craigslist, whatever. I did all that first. Anything I could do. Then I created a flyer, and then at the same time, I figured, okay, then I thought, okay, if you can advertise for a business, then you can advertise for a kitten. And what I was going to do was because I was passing out flyers to people's doorsteps, and posting stuff. But I thought, okay, maybe the husband throws it away and the wife doesn't know about it. So I was going to mail everyone, and mailing here is 50 cents per letter. I was going to mail everyone in my area
mhm,
a letter. Well, then I figured, everyone's on Facebook. So let me try this. So then I created a page, kind of like my business page. I created a missing kitty page, and then I created an ad. I created the ad in like, I swear to you, it was like 5 minutes, and it may not be the best ad, but all I cared about was showing my kitty and saying she's missing, and I just wanted people to see it when they scroll down on their phone or when they look on their desktop. Uh, and so, that's so that was basically the beast mode that I went into. There's another app called Nextdoor where people post stuff for like neighborhoods, and I posted it there. So Yeah, so essentially what I looked at was what is everything that I as a person can possibly do. And I basically hit it.
That's quite incredible, I think, to go from a situation where you don't know anything about any of these services and facilities and online resources to suddenly discovering everything,
Right.
which is all there and being used by people as well.
Right, exactly. But it's just aggregating it all into one place. And there was some misconceptions too. You know, the first door I knocked on, the lady was real negative, and she's like, "Yeah, people trap cats, and then they send them to the shelter." And then 2, 3 days later, I found out that that's not true. Was that they trap them, and then they they spay them, and they bring them back.
They
So
they
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 spay them, which they trap them. So there's a
okay.
group here called the Feline Network, and they trap cats, and then they spay them, which means they can't get pregnant, and then they bring them back to the same area. And they let them go.
Okay. So did you contact those people?
Yes, I did, and that was challenging. But yes, I did get through to one of them, and basically but the lady told me that they trap cats and then they send them somewhere, but it was false. So I also had to take information that I was given and basically prove it, see if it was true.
Wow, that's a great part of the learning curve. That the element of discernment when you get information from people, understanding whether or not the information is in fact true. I mean, that's the first stage, isn't it? We talked before about is it true? Is it kind? Is it relevant? Is it necessary? And is it useful? Because those are the five basic processes
Yeah,
that that we should go through when we when we're communicating with people. You know, the information that we're giving, is it truthful? Is it kind and in a positive light to people? Is it relevant to our communication, or at least one of us in some way, important way? Is it necessary to go through this communication, and is there something useful that can come out of it? So, so that's the first step in that stage. You said that contacting this group was challenging. So why was it a challenge?
oh, just because they don't have, it's all volunteers, and they don't have a central like phone or an office where you can go into. So you leave a message on this number, and then you just hope you get them call back. So
It's all volunteers and there's no central organization. Oh
yeah,
my God.
and
Well,
the way
welcome to Anarchy 2016. Oh my. Reasons why anarchy will not work, right?
yeah, and then what's interesting is I know that you had said, what if you did this in your business, and that's true. I think in this situation it was like, um, you know, time is of the essence. Every second, minute that goes by um, is crucial. Uh, Number two is I knew where my clients were basically. I know that everyone on that block, they don't need specialized knowledge. If they've seen the cat, they can say yes. And the third is that I just kind of there wasn't a product I was selling, so I think I just felt more like like the information would be accepted and not criticized. Like, who's gonna say, oh, you and your cat or whatever. I mean, no one's gonna criticize, So I think in terms uh, of business, but maybe those are hang-ups. But I, you know, um, I don't know where I'm going with that actually.
Well, it's interesting because I think there are parallels that we can draw there.
Yeah.
And I think one of them is between product and service, because what you're asking people to do is to serve you in terms of their generosity with time and observation.
Right, right,
And when you're working in business, it's not always necessary to look upon what you're selling as a product. You could be selling a service, which essentially requires time and skills of observation. And I always think that it's interesting how much time and energy people are prepared to put into certain activities that don't really generate that much positive benefit from themselves. It just appears to be a human instinctual reaction to want to help people from time to time.
right, right, right.
Um, and I had a strange similar thought today when I took my kids for ice cream, and I was sitting outside the ice cream shop, and I sent my partner in with the kids to get ice cream, and I was watching the people go in and out of the ice cream shop, and I was thinking that none of them are probably hungry. I was just, this is a weird thought that went into my head. They're coming here for a luxury. They're
Yeah,
coming here from, they don't need to come here.
right. I don't think there's anyone that needs ice cream.
Yeah, yeah. There's a million other places they could be. There's a million other things they could be doing, but they're all coming into line, huge line of people and cars pulling up and cars driving off, and just massive amount of people. I mean, the place must be doing a huge business. I mean, more people entered and exit that shop in 5 minutes than enter my business in a year.
Right.
I mean, think about it. Think about it. I'm trying to further people's knowledge, self-knowledge, and self-growth, so that they can increase their opportunities in their life. And I cannot, and this, I cannot get in a whole year more people than the ice cream shop gets
Yeah,
in 5 minutes.
right.
How does that work? And none of these people really need that ice cream. Most of them are fat anyway. But
Yeah, right.
it's just like the last thing fat people need is more ice cream, right?
Yeah.
So no, nothing against ice cream. I'm
But yeah,
fan
right.
fan of it myself. Uh, but but at least I understand there are some things that I don't really need.
Yeah,
So,
but I think where you're going with that, and maybe there's no solution to it, but is that people are more willing to do things that don't necessarily benefit them, as opposed to something that could possibly be a benefit to them.
and why is that? Isn't
And
that
why
amazing?
is that? Now that's $1 million answer.
Because there's no stress in taking the road that doesn't change anything.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, what's the difference of going up to someone's door and say, "Hey, have you seen my cat?" Or, "Hey, do you need an investment advisor?"
Well, it's kind of crazy because you going up to the door is asking them to do something for you, but you going up to the door that for the cat, and you going up to the door for
Yeah.
the investment advice is saying I'm going to do something to help you,
Yeah,
and
right.
they're not interested in it. Do you see how backwards that is?
Oh, absolutely. Isn't that crazy? That is crazy. That is crazy. That is backwards.
That's just one of the many insane observations that I've had while running a business, is that everything's backwards and upside down, and the more backwards and upside down, like, I'm going to sell you something which you don't need, is going to make you fat, and and if you have too much of it you'll be sick, and yeah, and it's just
And
a
people, yeah,
line
yeah,
of
of
people
course.
line of people fighting to get in. People fight. You know,
Exactly. And if you had Rudy's Fitness right next door to it, he'd be empty.
yes, exactly. Exactly. Or if you had only only juice and fresh leafy green
Yeah, exactly.
stuff.
Or a
Yeah,
juice place right next door, huh? They'd
yeah,
go out of
yeah,
business.
yeah. They'd be out of business. Absolutely, they'd be out of business because it's not ice cream. and and so my observation about the 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 cat scenario is that you're asking people to do something. You're not afraid of asking people to do something for you,
Hmm.
and yet when it comes to the business side of things, a lot of people are afraid to even go to put the same amount of effort and energy into something which is where the other person doesn't even need to do anything.
Right, 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 right.
It's like I
Which
want
is
to, yeah, yeah. It's psychologically backwards. Or can something be it's logically backwards? It's probably psychologically forwards because that's how we
yeah,
do it, but logically backwards.
right. Logically backwards. Absolutely.
And then how does that even happen? How do we get to that point? How do how do things get so upside down that we don't even notice how upside down they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it just reminded me of something my daughter's been doing recently. She kind of bends. She's 3.5 years old. She bends over and looks at me through her legs and says, "Is the world upside down or is it me?" I and and that's kind of what what I think about when I find these these obvious contradictions that that exist in life. The way that people put people put more time and effort and energy into the strangest, pointless little things than they do into the long-term important stuff like planning your pension or something like that, right?
Right, right, right.
Or you know this probably means something to you, but I only discovered it recently. The I discovered somebody who provides financial advice in America on the radio and internet called Dave Ramsey. Apparently, he's really famous. I don't. Okay, you know who I'm talking about, right? Okay, this was a new name to me about a month ago. Never heard of this person before in my life, and I heard some people talking about him. So I thought, oh, check out this person's financial advice. Listened to a couple of shows and was blown away. Like in 3 or 4 shows, I got more information than I'd got in about 5 or 10 years from other people about saving, investments, planning, becoming debt free. And I was like, how could I not know all of this stuff? And it's not complicated. But you do need someone to sit down and explain it to you
Right.
and go through it with you because we can't all be experts at everything, right? The car breaks down, you go to the garage, right? You don't try to
Right.
fix it yourself in general, or maybe you do,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I don't like Rudy's car last week, right? Yeah. Rudy, hope your hope your car's fixed, mate. Right, right. Um, so I don't know if you've got any. I don't know if you've got any other thoughts about the relationship between the energy and the effort that you put into searching for the cat and how you would approach your business and your business promotion. Any other thoughts that you?
Yeah, no, none. But I will say that the Facebook ad was really easy, and I'm not really sure why Rudy's spending so much. I mean, with all due respect to Rudy, I don't know why it's taking you so long. Because I think I put something up that leads right to a page, or I could have led it to my website, like that. So I know he was doing maybe a campaign or something like that, but I mean, it's really easy, and yeah, and I'm gonna commit. I need to organize a few things in my business, but I'm just gonna put that out there. I mean, I think I've spent $13 and I've reached 2,000 people, or at least an impression. So they've scrolled through and they've seen my kitten over 2,000 people for $13.
And is that localized, or how does that
Yeah, it's
work?
actually it's people within a mile of my house,
That's epic.
and that's all I need. People within a mile of my house. I mean,
Yeah,
if it was a quarter mile, it'd be better, or half mile would be better. But a mile was the closest they had.
I mean that's if the statistics are correct, and we have to believe that they are because we don't have another
Yeah,
choice at this moment.
yeah,
Um, then that's something which can be applied into the business model as well in terms of exploring. I don't think it's going to cost that much money to explore how much feedback you can get from people if you're offering certain
yeah,
services
yeah.
financially.
And here's something else I'll say. Okay, so I created the ad and I said missing cat, missing kitten, help find Clara. Okay, now I'm already thinking if I did my business that I would have. I mean, just thinking about doing a business one, I have no idea what I would put. You know what I mean?
Um,
To
missing millions. Help, help
find
find
it.
it. With
You
a
know what I mean? But then at the same time, I mean, everything I did in this campaign, I'm calling it a campaign because it's really a campaign. Everything I did was just like boom without a thought, boom without a thought. I mean, when I created my, when I did my door hanger, it took me what 4 weeks,
that,
and
that
and, and and this flyer I did that was first class, I probably did it within or easily within an hour, and it was first class.
there. You're mad if you don't come out of this on a huge learning curve with a
You're
whole new
right,
perspective
right, right.
on on why things move and why they don't at certain
Yeah.
points in time.
Yeah, and I think so too. Just kind of at the same thing. I think when I'm creating a flyer or a door hanger, I'm thinking what is the person gonna think on the other end? But when I created all this stuff, I was just like, I don't care what they're thinking. Here's what's going on. Here's the message I want to get across, and and it's so simple. I'm just gonna get it across.
And you're not worried
Yeah,
about
and about anything. Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
I'm just like, if you want to complain about my ad, well, that's your problem. You know what I mean? If someone complained about my investing ad, it'd be like, oh, well, shoot, well, what kind of, or
Yeah.
so it's my own issue, and I'm really gonna going to re-listen and watch this video because I think there'll be a lot that'll come out of it for me.
Yeah. Another thing you mentioned was that the speed with which you were able to create the advertisement and get the advertisement out was quite phenomenal. And you said that it wasn't as complicated as you'd heard other people make things out to be. Now, of course, there are lots of statistics and things we don't know about, and certain campaigns and certain programs that we can use to help us set up things, and we can go down that road. But having now had the experience of joining two online universities and seeing what they've had to offer me in terms of personal development, I am still pretty much left empty. And
Really? Whoa, I'm gonna fall back on my chair, man. Wow, wow, wow. I did not expect to hear that at all. But go on, my friend. Go on,
I
sir.
I am okay. There's one realization that I brought out before. It's the difference between the quest for the quest for money and the quest for sharing things with people. Everything seems to be designed about you can make money doing this, you can make money doing that. Here's the way to make money, blah blah blah. And it seems to me that that's not the way. And I also can't get away from in this new system that I'm within. I can't get away from this idea in the back of my mind that keeps going pyramid, pyramid,
Mm.
pyramid.
So this Freedom U, they're basically they're trying to help you get massive followers, massive.
Right. And what I got out of what I got out of Breathe was the contact with you and Rudy, where I could sit down with you or stand with you or whatever. This forum
Right, right.
where we could throw things like a game of tennis back and forward at each other, and there'd be some kind of real-time feedback on the practicality of things, the realizations, the ahas, the what you need in business sometimes is that you just need to hear somebody say yes, go for it, or stop and think. And you can't get that with a pre-prepared video course that somebody else has made. And I'm almost 100% certain now that I can get more resources on the internet that are more practical for me for free than I can by paying to join any system. Uh,
Wow.
and I won't be able to say that for sure until I go through at least one more system, I think, because I don't think I've got all the experience that I need to be able to say it conclusively yet. But I'm just left looking at stuff going, what? I need to do all of this to, to sell something? I need to go through all of these processes and use all of these systems and then build up funnels and channel people through the funnels and set up your own summits and then run everything through the summit and how to make your there's I swear that there's better stuff for free than there is paid. And maybe this cuts back into the fiver that we talked about earlier. And maybe this comes down to one thing which is even more fundamental, which I'm going to get all emotional now and say that we build our lives not on the principle of how much the people around us are going to pay us for being us. And we can't build our lives like that because it would be silly and pointless. And
Oh, you mean are you saying like just say, okay, I'm gonna do this in terms of getting this? Is that kind of what you're saying?
yeah, th- the old song, "The best things in life are free." And I don't mean the Money 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 Beatles cover version from the 50s.
Yeah.
I mean the best things in life are free. And of course there's the double-edged sword of even freedom is not free. I get that, but I'm not looking for payment, or I'm not looking for big success. I'm not looking for this marketing campaign to make yourself a leader in your field. I watched a couple of the
Mm.
sessions on Freedom U, and I was just left thinking,
Wow.
if you don't already know this stuff, it's so basic. It's like, oh, be nice to people and prepare things, and It's just like it's like they're teaching you how to cook or something. It's like you have to go and buy the
Cookery.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, first you have to prepare these things and remember and don't forget to offer and it's like a it's like a formula for how to be a it's like a formula for how to be a person. And you can't build formulas for people. People are just who they are and what they are. And you can't live your life according to some kind of robotic series of zeros and ones where you have automatic responses to everything. It's
No,
ridiculous.
and that's surprising. And I know, Rudy, you're gonna listen to this, but that's surprising because I thought that FreeDMU, how I read it, FreeDMU,
Yeah.
is I thought it was a bunch of business people. I guess I thought it was what we were hoping that BU is, what you're hoping what BU is. That's what I thought it was. A bunch of business people helping each other with ideas. I you know, and now I'm wondering why Rudy is in it because he's trying to get people to his gym. They're not trying to get him to subscribe to a newsletter or sell them a book or a program or a summit. You know.
I'm obviously we can't speak for Rudy, and Rudy's gonna. Rudy always has very good reasons for what he does. I think what I have heard him say is that he has met people within that community who also have their own fitness programs and their own gyms and their own
Oh,
systems for
that's right.
building.
That's right. And only bring him in. Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right, Rudy.
And
That's
he
right.
can work with them and share things back and forth. So it's got some kind of uh, there's a connection there. But
Yeah.
there's even there's oh, let's look at it this way. Let's say there's about the same number of people on the Facebook page of organization number one as there is on the Facebook page of organization number two,
Mm.
and it's and organization number one. You've heard my rant about posts about sweaty people, okay,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
in gyms. Okay, organization number two. There's nothing. There's 1,000 people on the Facebook page, and almost nothing is ever posted.
Oh, no one's chatting, no one's supporting, no one's.
But there's a couple of for 1,000 people being on a Facebook page. It's like there's
Mm.
there's more writing on our page between the three of us than there is with 1,000 people on that page. And I'm not. That's not a joke. That's that's not a joke. It's not even an exaggeration. I swear, if you counted the
You,
number of posts, there would be
you
more.
know what? And I'm curious too. I mean, I know that Frank Kern is the god, and I know Rudy's gonna be listening to this, but like he's gonna have rebuttals for everything. But I'm wondering,
Good, because he has to make a video. He has to make a video to rebut
that's
everything.
right. Yeah. um, I'm wondering what I guess what the retention ratio is because I know when I bought things online, it's just I never went back, and so yeah, I mean, is there? I guess so if Rudy's trying to get people to his gym doing this, I wonder what the retention of those people are. You know, are they going to come to stay or yada yada? That's what and I was just I don't know. I was just thinking people that do have these models where they're getting people into their gyms. I'm wondering what the retention ratio is because I have said very passionately on this Skype call is that people like Grant Cardone say, "Oh yeah, buy buy my book," or "You know who, buy my book's gonna change your life," yada yada. And I read it and I'm just like, I'm not moved at all. I mean, yeah, okay, Grant Cardone, 10x, okay, do things 10x. Okay, do I need to read 300 pages of, and pay you $20 to do things 10 times harder?
Yeah, and until I heard you talk about that, it didn't fully click in my mind, and I posted that under a short video entitled "Telling It Like It Is," where we all
Okay.
where we all go off on that from our meeting 2 weeks ago.
Oh, right.
That there's I'm not getting out of it anywhere near as much as I'm putting into it.
I think you need to start your own group because what you want is what I would want, and I think other people like us. No, 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 not many. We're probably a quarter of 1% of the world.
Yeah, there's yeah, the question that is begging is then what is it that you're looking for? What is it that you want? And it's a question that goes out to all entrepreneurs, to all people who are solopreneurs, and all people who are striving to build their businesses and connect with people. That if these online programs are essentially, not totally, but in essence for a lot of people very empty. I think and that's what I'm getting from it is although Ryan Lee is doing his thing his way, the best way that he can, and there's nothing wrong with that. The same way that people maybe don't like my business, so they go to somebody else's business, and I'm cool. I'm down with that. I don't don't come to my business if you don't like my business. That's silly, right? Don't come to my ice cream shop if you don't like my ice cream. And so the the question then is, what are these independent businesses that are having problems with their growth? What are they struggling at? And is it a business struggle or is it a personal struggle? And I think from the situation, I keep coming back to the cat. As there's more here. We can mine this for we can mine a book out of this. How my cat changed my business, right?
There's something. I'm writing that
There,
down.
there's a there's a whole book there. Because then you're going to get everyone who loves businesses and everyone who loves cats, right?
Uh-huh. Right.
And so it's it's that the business is missing that passion that we put into other things.
The passion, that simplicity. Yeah. No, I hear you because I'm still weeks on. I still can't explain my business in a couple words, or my
And yet you
how
could write the cat ad in like 5 words or 6 words.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
What's going on there? I mean, I don't know. What's going on? I don't know the psychology of that. I have no idea.
Right.
How is it that it's like it's it should be the same principle. It's like opening. I don't know. I want to relate it to like recipes or something. It's like not being able to. It's like in one kitchen not being able to cook anything, and you walk into the second kitchen, you can cook anything you want instantly.
Right. And I think that what I was thinking of this yesterday. What that might have something to do is that, I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing this out and not putting anything on anyone, but we go through life and then we say, then it's like, okay, um, I'm not happy doing what I'm doing at my job, so let me start my own business. And you really have no experience, so you have to think in your mind what people might want, or how our businesses ran or whatnot, without really, because I mean, you lose a cat, boom, instinct mode. Instinctively, I know what to do. Finding clients. Okay, well, wait a minute. Now I have to think, yada yada. That's my observation.
Yeah, I think you hit on a word there. Simple. That we just make things too complex?
I think so.
And that's the conclusion that I reach as
Yeah,
well.
and I'll say too this. I know, and for a long time, I'd say when I started getting into sales, you know, in maybe 2000s, and even until a year ago, it wasn't a year ago until I dropped everything. But so for 14 years, 15 years, I wanted to be able to use NLP or stuff to manipulate people to say yes to what I'm selling. And I was so into that. And so, I read Dan Kennedy stuff. I read Jay Abraham stuff. I've read, the advertisements that you write this copy and someone is all of a sudden transformed and they go buy, because they're like a zombie, like, okay, I will buy. And then it wasn't until a year ago, but it still obviously hasn't dawned on me to where it's just simple. It's like, boom, this is what I do, man. You know?
Yeah, I think it also comes down to a deeper connection with what we're doing. Would you buy your own product?
Yeah.
Because if you wouldn't buy your own product, then something's wrong
Right.
somewhere. If you wouldn't buy your own product or use your own product in some way, it doesn't mean all of the time, but um, I don't know how that would work through um, my business. I guess it does work through my business because I've got over 600 videos on my YouTube channel now, and I don't even know quite how that happened, but but they're they're there. I have my more productive and less productive periods of time, and I go back and listen to my own videos again to be self-critical, and because I forget stuff, and we all need to be reminded sometimes of the things that we've realized. It's like why we need to go back through this video again after making it and talking with each other, because we get we can get more from the same conversation, and we forget things, and we can think of extra things, and just a word here or a word there can spark our imagination and help us solve certain problems. So um, so I'm losing the thread of what I'm talking
No, I know
about,
what you're
but
saying, but I'll pat out and interrupt you, and I'll be very honest and say, would you buy your own product? I think right now, if I was a customer, I'm not sure. Um, I probably, if I sat down with me, I would buy my product, but if I saw what it was, I probably wouldn't.
would you trade your cat for another cat?
No, never.
You see the difference there then?
Yeah, right, right. Yep.
There's a, there's something different in
Okay,
those.
okay, okay. Then ask me the same thing. Um, do do you, do you know what a hedge fund is?
We had a little bit of a conversation about this before. Give me a quick 30 seconds on it again.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
Well, just
Then,
explain it,
then
because Rudy will get it, and I'm an idiot. So
oh yeah. Well, a hedge fund is basically a an investment manager for really wealthy people.
okay.
So so that would be someone that Richard Branson would give his money to.
Okay.
Well, which he actually doesn't, but Richard Branson would give his money to them to invest. Okay, and then so if you said, okay, if I was a customer and I had the opportunity to give money to me or to a hedge fund manager, like a famous guy, I would give it to the famous guy. So that's a problem for me. Like how you're saying, well, when I want a different cat, say no, not at all. And so it's the same thing. That is a disconnect for me.
Yeah, there's a where there is that disconnect, where there is that space. It's like a vacuum. It sucks the energy and time physically and psychologically out of what it is that we do. So we end up wasting time wondering how to do stuff rather than just doing it. Um,
You
see,
know,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
was just say, so for example, farming. When I'm out there, I mean, I'll work 15 hours a day and just get stuff done. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not, yada yada. And then let me ask you this question to you. If someone, if I came to you and said, should I work with you or should I work with Tony Robbins? What would you say?
Tony Robbins.
Okay. Okay, then where's that vacuum? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. It's that's going from the perspective of that I think he knows more about the topic than me. Of course, if you can't get to Tony Robbins, I'll do the best that I can. But
Okay,
we,
but if you really needed to, you could be better than him.
yeah, that's a powerful question.
You know,
That's a very powerful question.
say I wanted to commit, say I was there, and let's say I wanted to end my life or something like that, or I was just, and I was talking to you, and you were the only hope I had. I mean, you would pull out everything you have to get a result, and you won't be thinking like, okay, well, you wouldn't compare yourself to anybody. You would just be like, okay, I gotta say, you would go into beast mode, right? And maybe not that, but a situation like that, to where you're the only hope, you would be like, okay, well, let me call someone, yada yada. You'd go into beast mode, and you would be better than Tony Robbins, I think.
I think there's a certain level of what we're prepared to accept as people in what we do. I'm pedantic about a lot of things in my business and personal life. I want things to be right. Now, that doesn't mean I want things to be perfect. It just means that I can see where something can be better, and if it can be better, it should be better. And that's the way that it is. If it doesn't matter if it's the grass in the garden around my house, if it needs to be cut, it should be cut. There's no reason for it not to look as nice as it could look. There's no reason for us not to have flowers around the gate so that it's nice for people who are visiting. Um, there's no reason for things not to not to constantly be better. So in that sense, yes, yeah, I could raise I could raise the game. Um, what's what and where is that point of passion that is the I guess other speakers call it the why, and Rudy's talked about that a lot as well. His somebody's why, but that's only one of many things that can drive a person. And I think there are a lot of other drivers, but let's pull things back to a point. And the point is, for both of us, I think, we've got to apply the, we'll call it the principle of the cat,
Right.
into
Yeah.
the principle of our work
Right. Yeah.
in our business. We have to treat our business as our lost cat
Right. Yep. Love that.
and do what we can. And something which you just described was you described the word which was in my mind. The word that was in my mind was when you were talking about the things that you did on when you were on the farm. You were working all the time and you knew what you had to do, and you went from job to job. There were these things that needed to be done, and it was just step by step, do this and then do this next, and you knew what you had to do. It was almost automatic. And of course, I don't mean automatic in the sense of not thinking. What I mean is automatic in the opposite sense of thinking. Automatic of thinking because it's
Right.
so clear and obvious to you what you need to do.
Yeah. As opposed to coming into my office now, or even planning my day. Okay, hey, what's the most important thing? What do I need to do? Yada yada.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that's not that's kind of stuttering
Yeah.
in in the business,
Yeah.
and it's like an engine. When an engine stutters, it loses energy. So
Yeah.
there's definitely a need for the same principle in the business as there is for if you get up early in the morning and take your dog for a walk or go for a jog or something like that, where you just get up and go because you have to get up and go
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
to get it done and not get um, the paralysis of analysis, I suppose it is, of worrying too much how people see things on the other side. Like
Exactly.
I, because it's not important if they're interested in your cat or not. You're just going to move on to the next person.
Right. And what's interesting too is that last Friday, the first door I knocked on, she lives like kind of diagonal behind me, and my
Okay.
cat's kind of I've been in that area, and so I knocked on the door, and she was a complete bitch, and and to this day I still say she's a bitch, but it and but um uh if I was say selling insurance, I would be like, oh well, maybe I'm bothering yada yada. But I'm like, but like right now, I'm like, yeah, I'm in the right. I'm looking for my kitten. Yeah, I'm not harming anyone. She's in the wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and as we pointed out earlier, the whole point of a business is that we're,
Giving, right? Right.
hey, I've got something for you. No, go away, go away. Get away, horrible person. Get off my property. I don't want to see your face.
Right, right, right.
No, whereas if you went up to her door with a box of ice cream, right? I've just made some ice cream and I'm not sure if it's good or not. And somebody said that you're the person to ask. And what do you think? Can I give you some? Would you do this for me? And so she'd be like your best friend or something. It's for
Yeah,
something stupid and ridiculous, right? If you'd lost your ice cream or something, she'd help you
hmm
find it. But
hmm hmm
your your cat is no way. So connections. I think what we're talking about is connections. You have to be powerfully connected to whatever it is that you want to achieve and you want to do. And if you're not powerfully connected to it, if there's if there's not an emotional investment, you're not going to get as far as you could go.
Yeah, right, right, right. That's true.
And I
That's
guess that's something that we have to apply as well into our work. I've got my these. I gotta take my headphones off for 2 secs. I gotta take a break. 2 seconds. I gotta turn off the fan. There's a fan that's just blowing air at me, and I just gotta turn it off. 2 seconds. So much for being wireless. I still can wireless headphones that are connected with a cable now. It's ridiculous. Right. Um. So we've bled that topic dry. How
okay,
much?
very good.
How much?
How much time? How much? Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. The question is, how much time do you have?
Oh, I have until 1:30. I was thinking we should probably cut this off to do just for review sake.
Oh yeah. Okay. We've reached
There,
the we've reached the end of.
yeah, there are some things that I did want to go over in the aha section that we didn't go over.
Okay, we
Um,
can. Um. No, we're just gonna plow through it. We're not gonna have an after session. Let's just not have
Okay,
an after session. We'll just do the whole thing, and I'll just stick the whole thing up, and
that's fine.
it'll just be one long session. So there should be 60 minutes of success, and if it was 60 minutes of success, we would chop and cut here. But we're just gonna plow through because we can do whatever we want.
Okay, very good. So
We're,
on the ahas,
okay, let's
um,
do it.
yeah, on the ahas. Oh, you were thinking about Rudy?
So, sorry, what? Huh?
Were you gonna say something about Rudy?
I was, No, I'd forgotten that he existed. I'm
Okay,
sorry. I
very
just
good.
we had
Okay,
such we
very
had
good.
such a good conversation without him. Oh
All
dear.
right, very good. So my aha, two things were, well, one was the Facebook ad. We went over that. Number two was that there was an investor in a book that I read that this guy really outperformed. I mean, it was, and sometimes it might have something to do with the market, but his results in like 97, 98 were like 27% a year, 51% a year, and that really inspired me to really outperform because even recently, even a lot of investors haven't done very well, and so I think I became complacent and thought, well, if they're not doing well, and if I'm not doing well, then everything's okay, but it's not okay. And then number two, um, so I think the first one is just really inspired me to find ways to outperform and get amazing results. Number two was in terms of Amazon, and I was thinking about your book of how, and I wrote something in the chat, and I don't think you guys really understood it, but what I meant was that here you are spending hours writing your book. You have the content. You're an artist, like you're Jay-Z or Taylor Swift or whoever, and and because Amazon basically has monopolized the marketplace, they're taking 65% of the take, and and so I was just thinking from an investment perspective, it's unfortunate, but I have to look at, okay, who has the ability to take the blood, sweat, and tears of another person and profit from them, and make it consistent.
I agree with that observation.
You know?
At 65% is a ridiculous amount to be taking from the creative energy of another person. Um, say somebody else painted a picture and they came to me with their picture and I said, okay, um, I love your picture. I'll sell it for you and I'll give you 35% of what I sell it for.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I do not understand how they can even get up in the morning and think that this is good. It's over 50. It's over 50. If it was 50-50, I might even uh, sort of accept that. And this is crazy. And this led me straight down the road of searching for alternatives, thinking that this is this is crazy, and then wondering how anybody who is not Amazon selling anything can make a profit because Amazon's creaming
Yeah. And
off
so did you
everybody.
find anything?
Yeah. Um, the book is up on three platforms. Amazon we know is obviously one because it has to be on Amazon. I found oh my god, I've just taken a week off. I've got to go back through my my mail system notes here.
And while go ahead. I have an observation after that.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
there's
Tell me who the other two are. I want to look them up.
okay. Um, So yeah, so when I found out the information about Amazon, I was straight on to platforms to compete with Amazon's platforms
Yeah.
that are similar. So I went through them. I went through a
What'd
whole
you find?
series of them, and I
Okay.
found um, the two best that I found to beat Amazon were the best one was called GANXY. GANXY. And GANXY allows you to put anything online for sale and you keep 90%
Mm.
and they take 10%.
Okay,
And
wait
you,
a minute. Now, where do they sell it? Because I'm on that site and it's only for selling.
they give you when you have a product to sell, you register with them and you put on an image of the product, a description of the product, and then and any of the other details, information you want, and a price for the product, and they create a page for you on the internet for that product.
So how would I find your book if I didn't
It,
know you?
how it would be the same way that anybody else would find it. It would be in a link that I have that I sent out to other people.
Oh, right. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it.
So there's a page, and it's on. Or because the other alternative is create a page for selling on your own web page, and that is also possible, but extremely complex to build a page for selling within your own web page and leads you down a whole path of problems taking months to solve. So the what you want to do is create a page on somebody else's platform on the internet where you and uh, they give you a whole marketing thing that you can take and then put on your own web page as well. So there are various different ways you can look at it. But the question is, how do I put a product on the internet and sell it where I'm keeping most of the profit from selling it? What's the best deal I can find for selling on the net?
Right.
And so the best deal is where I put where the host will will allow me to do everything I need and take only a small percentage of the profit from the sale. And the GANXY allows you to sell any product, creates a page for your product, and you can take that page and put it on your page. It creates an advert for it, and you can take that advert and you can it gives you embedded code, so you can embed it in different websites and blah blah blah. I won't get into it, but it gives you everything you need, and they only take 10% of whatever price you charge for your product. Which
It,
yeah, question.
what's the other site called?
Payhip,
Okay.
Payhip.
And that's basically the same thing.
Um, I remember finding Payhip and thinking, because I'm going back a week, because I've just taken a week off all of this stuff, finding Payhip and thinking, um, this is what I want, and then realizing that GANXY give you more than Payhip gives you. So, and what I've done on my web page, which is I'll copy and paste that into the Facebook chat, um, and so if you scroll down on the page that I've put into the Facebook chat, it's the general information page, what you get if you click here to read more about me. There's my CV, basic information about the school, and if you go down, there's a picture of the book, And under the book there are
Oh,
four links.
okay.
The first link is GANXY, the second link is Amazon, the third link is PayHip, and the fourth link is an Amazon author profile. So you can compare how they look on the internet if you're interested in comparing that. But in
Mm-hmm.
terms of companies that provide the best service, I would say GANXY. Now, there's other ones that are bigger. For example, there's one called Lulu.com,
Oh,
which a lot of people are using, but, and this is the madness of the system, you can't upload your own cover. It's one of the
uh,
biggest sites on the internet for selling books, and you can't upload your own cover. Now, Barnes and Noble also have a system, but it was so complicated I couldn't even find out how to register.
wow, really?
I spent half an hour trying to find out how to register in Barnes and Noble, and I couldn't even register. I couldn't even find out. I'm not. Um, maybe I was missing the obvious. I'm not an idiot with these things, but you know, would you like? Would you? I was like, would you like to register? Would you like to sign up? Do you have something to sell? Would you like to partner with it? I was looking for something. I couldn't find anything at all, anywhere, to do that through Barnes and Noble. So, uh,
Huh. But so then, where I'm coming from, looking at this, if I went to your site and they're both the same price, I would go to Amazon because I already have an Amazon account. My credit cards are there. I can buy this. Boom, boom, boom.
one other difference. And yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And
That's on my
95.
side. Yeah.
That's what 95% of people would do. You you do whatever's easiest for you, whatever's comfortable, whatever's most usual, and that's the most usual normal habit that people have. Um, but Amazon require their own format. Now,
Uh,
now what this means is that they format the the content through their own system so it fits in so it fits in with their Kindles,
okay,
right?
the Kindles. Yeah, yeah.
Now this is the most retarded and backwards thing that I've ever
Mm-hmm.
seen in
Okay.
human history. Because let me give you an analogy. This is like me uploading a picture to the internet and the online site saying, oh, well, we don't have colors that match the colors in your picture. Can
Mm,
can we change them?
right.
This is madness. It's completely insane because I create a piece of art, which is a book, and I format it so that the pages look the way they look, so they're all neat and tidy and organized, and the right information is in contents, and the right quotes are on the right pages, and everything's connected. And the only way to present a book in a good way like that is PDF, because PDF fixes the words to the pages. And there's no problem with PDF quality. PDF's always great quality. So why the hell does it have to be reformatted for the Kindle? Which means that every single person who downloads my book from Amazon will get it in a different format on their Kindle. It'll look different on every single thing,
So
which destroy
will mess it up?
totally. And
Mm.
it won't just mess up my work. It messes up every single person's work because
So, so, so,
there's no way of standardizing it.
so you had to redo your book to go on Amazon?
Uh, no, I have to live with the fact that I don't know what other people will see when they download my book from Amazon because there's no way to know.
Oh, is there a way to fix it?
No. This is insane. The world's largest company for selling books has no standardized format from the book. This is exactly the same as going into a bookshop and buying and if you see 5 copies of one book, opening up the book and seeing it different inside each book.
Right, right.
This is mental.
Huh.
This is completely mental.
So I guess you need to buy your own book. Why don't you lower the price to $1, buy your own book, and then see how it looks?
Don't care. Because my advice is to anybody is to buy it in PDF format, which I can, and Amazon will not allow you. They won't even allow you to sell the book in PDF format.
The
You,
the
you
the age level is 12 to 18.
um, is that what it says?
Yeah.
Really? 12 to 18. I should be 12 to 80. I put in 12 to 80. It says 12 to
Yeah, and
18.
the grade level you put 12 to 12.
I did not put that in. That's Amazon. I did not make
Okay.
any mistakes with any of that. Those
Yeah,
those details.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
Amazon. That's Amazon being completely sabotage. They're sabotaging the author's work. This is insane. There's no way to standardize it. Absolutely none. And this is because they say, oh well, there's different devices, and some people want bigger text, and some people want smaller text, and some people this is insane. Because like I said, it's like changing the colors on a painting.
Yeah.
And so other sites like PayHip and Galaxy, they allow you to choose any format you want. And I don't know anybody who's had a problem with opening a PDF, right? I mean, it's kind of standardized for the world,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
with a PDF, you know exactly what will be on each page. I mean, imagine giving a professional presentation and opening your computer and not knowing what the text is going to look like on the big screen. That's
Yeah,
insane.
your thing looks a little. It kind of looks a little goofy. I'm previewing it, or maybe not. Maybe not. I'm sorry. I just can't
Uh,
tell what page is a page.
No, no, it's if you're looking at the Amazon thing, it's mental.
Yeah, I'm looking at a preview.
Yeah, it's insane. They 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 totally retext the text into a way that's completely so that you don't know what it's going to look like when people download it. There's no way to know. Every single person who downloads it will get it in a slightly different format.
Wow, cool.
It's so I'm as an artist. As the owner of a business, I don't care, but as an artist, it's insane. I mean, imagine writing a song and someone's going to record your song and they say, well, we're going to have to play different notes.
Oh, right, right, right.
No, no, that would be a different song, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So the presentation of a piece of art is part of the art. And so if you don't know how it's going to be presented, how can that be good? If 4 musicians get on stage and nobody knows what each one's going to play, it's going to be a bit mental.
Right.
And so the whole thing is mental. Because you don't know if the text is going to be all on one page or on 2 pages, or you just don't know.
No, right. Yeah, you
And
don't.
people format their Kindles differently for the lighting and the background color and the size of the text,
Mm.
and for me the classic element of a book is that page 56 is always page 56. It's not, oh, you change the size of the letters and page 56 becomes page 73, yeah, or something. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. This stuff just jumps around. And this is the world's number one format for selling books is a complete disaster.
It's interesting.
It's uh, and it's all because of this. Oh, we're giving the viewer, the reader, the ability to reformat the text in different size to a different size when they.
So you submit a Word document then? Is that what you do, like a Word document, and then
Yeah, they
they
butcher it.
it's interesting.
You submit Word, and they butcher it into their own format, which takes about half a second, and and then no one knows what they're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no, and there are, even with professional services online, we will format your book for e-publishing. We will format your book for mobile thing. It's the same problem.
Yeah.
You can give it to these people and you'll get it back from them professionally done, but they'll be like, yeah, well, that's the way it is.
Oh, so you can have someone professionally do it, like someone on Fiverr?
Yeah, but you'll have the same problem.
Really?
Yeah,
Uh,
even though it's professionally done, you're still going to have exactly the same problem.
huh.
Because naturally, if you change the size of the text, some of it's going to move from one page to another page. So it changes the concept of a book. So this is what's frustrating. This is why PDF is the only real format for reading books in. Because also on Amazon, I'll tell you what else is effed up, right? Um, on Amazon, I can change the text. I can go into the document and change something in the text and no one would know. So I could still alter the book, which is a bit crazy. I mean, I guess I could do that in PDF. I could upload a different PDF and somebody else could download a different PDF, but that would be, you would know that with the PDFs. With the you could add and remove passages on Kindles and people probably wouldn't notice. Well,
Hmm.
observant people would, but the average person's not going to remember a small paragraph here or a small paragraph there disappearing. So it's kind of crazy. So I'm sorry. This was these we got into book format problems,
Yeah.
and it was supposed to be aha moments.
But anyway, I got off I went on Amazon and then we got you off. We got just your passion got ignited and you went off. So
Thank you. My frustration. Thank you.
that's all right.
But passion's a positive take on it. You mentioned I've written down comparison of success. You were talking about comparing your level of success with somebody else's level of success. What
Yeah.
can you? So uh, can you go through that a bit more? Can you can
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it kind of boils down to I'm trying to do what other people are already doing,
okay.
but I'm doing it for people who don't have access to the person that's doing it. If that makes sense.
So is that why you gave the Tony Robbins example? So that I'm doing something similar to what Tony Robbins might be doing, but people who don't have access to Tony Robbins could have access to me, and I could help them.
No, that's not why I said
No,
it, but
so
but yeah, but since you say that, yeah, yeah, I guess so. It's true.
it's just a link that popped
Oh,
up
well,
in my
yeah,
mind.
yeah, because I mean, comparing, yeah, because they don't have access. I mean, in the real world, people don't have access to these investment managers. In the real world, people can't sit and talk with Tony Robbins.
Yep, that's true. And I'll tell you something else, which is weird. Tony Robbins has been growing on me
Uh-huh.
from just being really frustrating and sounding like he swallowed a hedgehog or a badger or something. It's, it's just I find his voice really annoying. Um, I watched a couple of interviews and he came across as genuine. Now I don't know if that's. I don't know if that is genuine or I don't know. I don't know what to think because obviously who knows what to think through the
Yeah.
digital medium. But he did come across in a couple of the interviews I watched as really genuine and really wanting to help people. Um, and so I tried to take on board a lot more of what he was saying. Now, this might be a case of you're a couple of steps ahead of me on the Tony Robbins thing or whatever. So you've probably got more experience because you've been involved in some presentations and some online forums with people, and I'm just picking up little bits and pieces of things to see if there's something in his work that makes sense that transfers into other things. I was going through his six human needs. Um, you know that part of his work
Yeah.
where he
Yeah.
talks about
I've been to like four of his seminars.
you're far ahead of me, right? So I'm just getting through the
That's all
basics
right. But
of
yeah, the six human needs. Yeah.
yeah, certainty, uncertainty. I've got it written here. Unique significance, connection and love, growth and contribution beyond yourself. That's what I got as his
Yeah.
principles there. And I was
And what he says is that I think it if you have two, the first four and the last two are different. If you have like two of the first four, you're hooked. If you have three of the first four, you're addicted.
uh-huh addicted to what?
To if you're talking about being obsessed, it's I forget what they are, but let let's just say a drug, cocaine, for example.
Okay.
I'm on a plane with cocaine, and I'm all lit up again. Okay, so
That'll be on the playlist.
let's say cocaine. Your let's say your body needs it. It makes you feel amazing, and whatever the third one. I don't know, it makes you feel powerful. If you have all of those, then you're addicted. But I don't know, say eating ice cream, it doesn't give you all those needs. I'm just kind of throwing it out.
Yeah. He's also talking obviously from his own perspective of experience in life as well. Obviously, that's not going to work for everybody, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
So, anyways, I'm sorry. What was the point of going with talking about Tony Robbins?
I've gone, I've gone way off track. Um, yes, of course, there was a very good point for it. I have absolutely no idea what it was, related to aha moments and my inane rambling at what is 20 past 10 at night here in Slovakia after getting up early this morning. So um, let's move on. Any other aha moments, or I'll share some of my
No,
my
but
mind.
I will say that I will say real fast that and I'll let you wrap the call up with your ahas, but he does life coaching as well, and he has life coaching programs, and you can see some of his interventions that he does, but his thing is that he allows people to find the solutions themselves because he thinks that if if I tell you, Graham, the solution, you're not going to listen to it. But if you come up with it yourself, then you're more likely to believe it.
Oh, well, let me give you another perspective on that, which I was reading something earlier today, which is that people are more likely to believe what you say if they think it doesn't come from you.
Mm, yeah.
How weird is that?
Right. Right.
So here's the example. If you say, "Oh, let me tell you something I learned from my father," people are more likely to listen to you and remember you than if you say,
Mm,
"Let me tell you what I learned," or "Let
mm-hmm,
me tell you what I think."
mm-hmm.
Same principle with science as well. Let me show you what the science. Let me tell you what the scientific results of blah 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 blah. So it's not me. It's the science, and people are more likely to be persuaded if you present information not as your own information and your own knowledge, because people can then disconnect, or people then can accept the information without having to accept you.
Oh, right. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you say, well, this person, blah 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 blah, says this, it can be presented in a more neutral sense, so it's easier for the listener to accept the information. So it's maybe not, let me tell you what my business program will do for you, but let me let me tell you what other people have said about this.
Oh, that's how like testimonials. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
Exactly. Exactly. Or let me show you the science. Let me show you the studies, so that this is not me and this is not my opinion. If you can disconnect yourself and your opinion from the information that you present, then there's a higher probability of the person on the other side accepting the information that you
Mm-hmm.
present to them. So I think that also connects with what you said as well, that um, no one can no no one can solve your problems for you but you, or something like that. Right. Um, my aha moments were written last week, and I can't remember what the first one was about. I wrote down it's a waking moment. And I'm not quite sure what I meant last week, but how I interpret that this week is that um, the state of mind in which you wake up is the state of mind that determines your day. So
Yeah.
get the um, get the first little part right so that you
Yeah.
can get the rest of it right.
Yeah.
Um, Second aha moment was flipped lessons. Now there's a whole culture around education right now called flipping the classroom, which is the way I see that is using the students to teach the students rather than using the teacher to teach the students.
Okay.
So that it's it I don't want it to be like a kind of top-down model. And how I've applied this in my school is that in one of my work with one of my students who's quite advanced, their job is now to teach me. I send them a series of information in
Oh.
articles and videos. Their job is to collate the relevant and important data and then present the information to
Oh,
me.
really? Interesting. Very interesting.
So yeah, so and it can be done in the sense of topics that the student is interested in, or it can actually be done in terms of grammar, how grammar works, which is how I'm doing it right now with one of my advanced students. Is I send them a series of resources on how the grammar works, and they have to prepare a presentation for me as if I was a student and they were the teacher.
Oh.
And this, it goes with the principle is if you can explain it, you understand it. But
Right.
if you can't explain it, then you don't understand it.
Mm.
Because it's very hard to un, how do you check if the student understands it? Well, if the student can explain it to another student, then the student understands it. So I flipped the classroom with one student and the grammar work, and I flipped the classroom a couple of times with advanced students and said, okay, I am going to send you 5 articles on this topic. Read through the 5 articles, select the information that you think is most interesting, and then present it back to me. So flipping the
Interesting.
classroom. So that was my uh, That was one of my aha moments that it doesn't have to be teacher-student. It can be student-teacher.
Yeah, right. Yep, yep, yep.
Um, and that was your flipping with the business investment X,
Mm.
Plan X.
Oh, right. InvestX.
Yeah,
Yep.
InvestX is a flipped classroom.
Yeah, it is right. Hmm.
It's the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the other way around. Um, Now, here's my final aha moment comes from the fact that a number of people have said to me recently, "Oh, it's not important," and I've got this thing in the back of my mind which I call the red flag, and the red flag waves when somebody says something and it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. It
Okay.
doesn't click. And the point that I want to make is nobody knows whether or not something is important because only time will tell. Nobody knows at this moment
Mm.
how important anything that's happening at this moment is because nobody's got any kind of clear vision of where that's going to be further down the line. I could tell something to you, you tell it to somebody else, they tell it to somebody else, they put it in a book, and then everybody reads the book. And so we never really know how important the things we are doing are. We can never answer that. Sometimes they'll be very important, and sometimes they'll be they'll be not important at all. Like you don't know it's going to be the last time you feed your cat, right?
Yeah.
You don't know how important that
Mm.
action and that
Right.
interaction is.
Yep.
So as a result, everything is important. And you have to treat every interaction as important because we don't know if it's important or not at the time. So we have to treat it
Mm.
all as if it's extremely
Oh.
important.
Wow, that's huge.
So, uh,
Wow, we're gonna end on that note.
yeah, well, that's
That's huge.
uh,
You know what
good
I think
night.
about that?
uh, it would only be like one page, right?
No, no, no. You have to write a 400-page book, but have that be the only.
And I put
Everything else is filler.
that would just be the blurb on the back cover, right?
Right.
I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. I'm not that desperate yet. Maybe one day, if I wake up desperate, then yeah. So I think we'll draw things to a conclusion because I think we've uh, beaten the dead horse of activities in the last few weeks as much as we possibly can. Is there any specific target you have over the next 7 days? Is there anything that you're do you-
um, it's more of a mindset that I'm going to take what we talked about and simplify things and just take action and really live with this and apply this. I know it may sound a little vague, but that's what I'm taking. That's what I'm going with.
okay? That's it's it doesn't matter if the description is vague as long as the action happens. There,
Yeah.
there we go.
Well, I thought I didn't want more concise. Okay, I'm gonna do this like a German, you know.
Yeah,
But but but
I think what I've just said was a big slap in the face, but it's just in a very polite way. But
but
there we go. Um, okay, that's cool. You're doing your thing. I'm rounding off my week off here, which is a bit of sunshine and time with the family, and get back into the office next week and I'm going to start work on preparing things for next term for the new school year,
Okay,
uh,
good.
some advertisements related to that. I need
Oh,
to.
oh, you don't go all year long. You
It's
go.
it's September to uh, to the end of January, and then February to the end of June, and then
Oh,
and then summertime is whatever summertime is.
oh, so you run a real university then?
And you thought it was all Mickey Mouse, right?
Well, no, I thought it was kind of just on. I didn't know it was a school. I thought you kind of called it that. I didn't know it was a real. When you're trying to go to these like like Freedom University and Reed University, it's kind of a joke because you run your own university. I never realized that. Oh my god. Well then, no wonder you're not happy because you're like Rudy going to someone else's gym.
There's an aha moment.
Right.
There's an aha moment right there. Oh my God! You you squared the nail on the head, mate, with that. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Because when I walk into somebody else's school, whether it's real or virtual, I'm instantly in comparison with my own work.
right.
And so if something is substandard, I think I've got a pretty good hold on what it should be.
Right.
And I'm looking, and I sort of told you I'm unsatisfied with what I've discovered. It's
Right.
not what it could be, um, which then leads to, oh well, why don't you set up something that's better? I'm like,
That's what I was gonna
whoa,
say. That's what I was gonna say.
whoa, yeah, that's the natural next step, um, which is huge. But it is the natural next step if you put all the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah, and you know what too? I think, and I got to go, but it would be easy to say, okay, let's set up a page and people will contribute to each other, but there has to be some kind of culture because, for example, I have a friend named Paulie who we text every morning, but I don't think that she would be interested in really what we have to say. And not that anything we have to do is bad, but she's kind of, I don't think she would be into the culture because with our other parent company, there was a fabric. We all followed a certain person, and so we had something in common. He spoke kind of to all of us. We had something in common. Um, so I think there would have to be some kind of fabric, some kind of niche.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that, and keywords connection. Fabric is a very interesting principle. I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind. It's a very interesting word to connect with those ideas. Um, so that's us for our uh, before, during, and after party session. It's all rolled into one. 60 minutes of success is all actions and all results. And I'm just going to say to Johnny, don't sign off when I finish this because I want to just talk to you for 30 seconds, okay? After we do the after we do the end, don't disappear, okay? So it was all actions, all results. Do did done. Rudy, get your ASS as possible. ASAP. Get your ASS ASAP back 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 here and keep us accountable with all the things that are going on. And for the internet world, we're do did done for today. The video will be stopped somewhere around here. Cool.